Hey guys, Dilla's here. So this is part 6. So separated from the ex-wife and started moving on, and I joined a couple of professional lesbian Facebook groups and whatnot because at the time I was working with a business coach and she was trying to help me find my niche. I am a full-time entrepreneur. Um, Besides being a victims advocate at domestic violence shelter. And back then, I was a full time entrepreneur and I needed some assistance in figuring out who my target audience is and so on and so forth. So, we came up with a plan to help me with my business. So, the plan was to help my other fellow lesbians who were late blooming, whatever the case may be, stuff that they were going through, who were rebels, who were free spirits, who were having a hard time just being accepted by family and friends and so on and so forth, and how to honor themselves and yada yada. You got the point. So I joined about four different um, professional women's black melanated lesbian group, whatever the case may be. And so this one chick, I kept seeing her in the same group. And so I was like, that's interesting. And so for me, I don't believe in coincidences. So, of course, we started chit chatting, and she had asked me about writing a book because I am a 5-time self published author. Very proud of that. And so it was interesting because we had so many different things in common. She was, so I thought, emotionally intelligent like me, had her stuff together emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. And at the time, I was a full blown practicing priestess, and I had like 8 altars in my house dedicated to my ancestors, my grandmother and grandfather on both sides. Also, I work with Egyptian goddess Isis at the time. I still do to a certain extent. So you got the gist. So I didn't realize that this person was exceptionally narcissistic, and she used everything that I was doing and saying and the conversations we had against me. And so after I broke up with my ex-wife, separated from my ex-wife or whatever the case may be, I ended up moving back to Savannah, Georgia, because that felt like home to me. And we met up a couple times, and it felt nice or whatever the case may be. But I didn't realize that it was she was grooming me and she was studying me like a project and was mimicking me because that's what they do. And we decided to try and be in a relationship or whatever. And slowly but surely, she started becoming controlling who I'm talking to. Mama talking to this person. She could see right through this person. This person's evil. This person had demons. My spirit guides were showing her that these people were this way or that way. Stupid shit like that. That was starting the isolation process when they start to isolate you from friends and family. And then it was, oh, your spirit guides want you to practice this or practice that. And at the time, she was working with a shaman, which is a cool person. Till this day, me and him chit chat every now and again. And so we did work with the shaman for a little bit, and things became worse because she was a traveling medical professional. Let's just say that. And we're going to call her narcissist. Yep, sure am. And so I would go with her to different places because she sold it so nice that you can work on your business since you work remote, and we could travel here and we could do this, we could do that. Not a problem. Fine, let's do it. And slowly but surely, the abuse started: mental abuse, emotional abuse, spiritual abuse, financial abuse. And it got to the point that one day she was walking down the stairs in front of me, and I was like, I just need to push this bitch down the stairs. And that's not my thought process. And that's when I knew it was time for me to exit that relationship. So I started my exit strategy. I called on friends and family to ask for help, even though I was ashamed because I'm like, damn, how did I end up in a domestic violence relationship? How the fuck did I allow someone to mistreat me and abuse me and cuss me out and all this other kind of stuff? I'll probably get into like a part 1, part 2, part 3 about the whole relationship and whole situation experience itself eventually. And so I got all the funds that I needed, and I moved back to Savannah, Georgia again, because again, that was home for me. And I just went no contact. I blocked her on all social media platforms, email address, phone, you name it, completely blocked, because I felt after a year of putting up with the bullshit, of being gaslit, manipulated, love bombed, being accused and cheating, and this all, it was just a lot of crazy stuff. And I had to give myself permission to allow my own heart to break so I could mend my heart again and define exactly who I am and remember who I am, put my crown back on my head, and was able to move forward. So this is part 6. And then I was in Savannah, like I said, and I met someone maybe 2, 3 months after. Look out for part 7.